All right, we're live, Moorish Kin, Islamism, and let us come forth and open up the way with our ears research Sultan. Peace and love. Brother Marvin Edwards Bay, you have the floor, sir.
Islam, gratitude, Dr. Edwards Bay. Praise Allah and honor to our prophet and honor to everything that's Moorish. Our Cometian Adept, Moorish American prayer. Ya Allah abnuharu matku neturu. Ya Allah abhehuru. Ya Allah ma'at haru. Ya Allah hotep haru. Ya Allah haru. Ya Allah ma'at herkuti. Ya Allah awajet the duty. Ya Allah him zutek patim haru. Ya Allah bamaduti. El hedges way up to Ali. Amen. Alias, alias, alias. In transliteration, O Allah, the Father of the universe. O Allah, the Father of love. O Allah, the Spirit of truth. O Allah, the Spirit of peace. O Allah, the Spirit of freedom. O Allah, the Spirit of justice. O Allah, you are my protector. O Allah, you are my guide. O Allah, you are my salvation by night and by day. O Allah, through your holy prophet, Drew Ali. Amen. Holy Yissa, Holy Yissa, Holy Yissa. And now, Moors, I'll read our divine constitution of Moorish America. Act 1. The Grand Sheikh and the chairman of Moorish America are empowered to make law and enforce laws with the assistance of the prophet and the grand body of Moorish America. The assistant Grand Sheikh is to assist the Grand Sheikh in all affairs if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and it is known before the citizens of Moorish America. The bylaws. Act 2. All meetings are to be opened and closed promptly according to the Circle 7 and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is our holy day of rest because on a Friday the first man was formed in flesh, and on a Friday the first man departed out of flesh and ascended unto his Father God Allah. For this cause, Friday is the holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Act 3. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all citizens of Moorish America. No citizen is to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all that may harm his brother or sister because Allah is love. Act 4. All citizens must preserve these holy and divine laws, and all citizens must obey the laws of the government. Because by being a Moorish American, you are a part and a parcel of the government and must live the life accordingly. Act 5. No organizations of Moorish America is to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and constitution of the said government, but obey hereby. Act 6. With us, all citizens must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and a parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Drew Ali, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All citizens must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and a partial of all uplifting acts of Moorish America. Moorish Americans must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of Moorish America. and then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become a part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, through the guidance of his Father God Allah. Prophet Noble Drew Ali, peace and blessings be upon him, founding father and framer of the divine constitution and bylaws of Moorish America. Oh, I forgot salvation, our God, and unity. Islam. Islam family.
Islam, Sister Dendra Nia Kurtabe. You have the floor, Goddess and Queen.
Islam, Islam, Islam. I am Dr. Dendra Nia Kurtabe. First, let me rise and give praises to the great God Allah. I give honors to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. I give honors to Act One. I give honors to all my Moorish kin. I give honors to you, National Assistant Grand Sheep, for this class this morning. I will be reading our chapter of the week, chapter 28, coming from our Holy Quran. Yehoshua passes the second brotherhood test, justice. The Logos did not care to rest. He said, "Why wait in this luxurious room? I need not rest. My Father's work upon me press hard. I would go on and learn my lessons all. If there are trials, let them come. For every victory over self gives added strength." And then the guide led on. And in a chamber dark as night was Yehoshua placed and left alone. And days were spent in this deep solitude. And Yehoshua slept, and in the dead of the night a secret door was opened, and in priest's attire 2 men came in, each carrying in his hand a little flickering lamp. Approaching Yehoshua, one spoke out and said, "Young man, our hearts are grieved because of what you suffer in these fearful dens, and we have come as friends to bring you light and show the way to liberty. We once, like you, were in these dens confined, and thought that through these weird, uncanny ways we could attain to blessedness and power. But in a lustful way, we were undeceived, and making use of all our strength, we broke our chains, and then we learned that all this service is corruption in disguise. These priests are criminals just hid away. They boast of sacrificial rights they offer to their gods and burn them while alive. Poor birds and beasts, yea, children, women, and men. And now they keep you here, and at a certain time may offer you in sacrifice. We pray you, brother, break your chains. Come go with us, accept of freedom while you may." And Yehoshua said, "You little taperers, show the light you bring. Pray, who are you? The words of man are worth no more than is the man himself. These temple walls are strong and high. How gain you entrance to this place?" The men replied, "Beneath these walls are hidden ways, and we who have been priests spent months and years within these dens and know all of them." "Then you are traitors," Yehoshua said. "A traitor is a fiend who betrays another man, is never man to trust. If one has only reached the plane of treachery, he is a lover of deceit and will betray a friend to save his own selfish self. Behold, you men, whosoever you be, your words fall lightly on my ears. Could I prejudge these 100 priests, turn traitor to myself and them, because of what you say, when you confess your treachery? No man can judge for me, And if I judge before testimony all is in, I might not judge aright. Nay, men, by whatsoever way you came, return. My soul prefers the darkness of the grave up to little flickering light like these you bring. My conscience rules. What these my brothers have to say, I will hear. And when the testimony all is in, I will decide. You cannot judge for me, nor I for you. Be gone, you men, be gone, and leave to me this charming light. For while the sun shines not within my soul, there is a light surpassing that of sun and moon. Then with an angry threat that they would do him harm, the vile tempters left, and Yehoshua was alone. Again the white robed priest appeared and led the way, and Yehoshua stood again before the hierophant, and not a word was said, but in his hand the master placed a scroll on which the word justice was inscribed. And Yehoshua was the master of the platform of prejudice and of treachery. Islam, Islam, Islam. I will now turn it back over to our National Assistant Grand Sheikh, who is our host. Islam.
And Islamism, goddess and queen, we want to give honors to all of you from our beloved brother Marvin Edwards Bay, and honors to you as well, Sister Dendra Nia Curta Bay, also for your reading. And as always, we like to come forth and open up the way from the Book of Fire. And this is a grand measure this morning, and it's going to be a powerful draw. And so what we want to proceed with first and foremost, we're going to call forth our beloved brother Bati Bay to read from the Book of Fire. It's not a long reading, but it's very noteworthy of where we going this morning, grand man. And we just want you to read, if you will, from page 374 in the Exhuman of a Nation to 378 above where it says Moors in prostration. And
Islam.
Islam, yeah, we start in Islamism, the first religious creed. Yes, sir.
This is powerful right here. Islam. First, I'd like to rise and give all manner of praise to Allah, honors to the Prophet, honors to our theocratic government, our royal council, our flag, seal, emblem, our divine constitution, our swift angels, muftis, citizens alike, honors to all the Moors that are here, all the Moors that are listening, Islam. And with that, I'm going to show the picture first, if you guys can see it, so you understand what we're talking about. And this is the first religious creed, Islamism. Islam. It says Islamism by numbers says the true mystery system of Egypt with Noble Drew Ali, an Egyptian Adept master called Islamism, is founded upon the science of numbers. Men comprehend the dynamics and origin of infinity by understanding numbers. The equation science of numbers gives rise to all seen and unseen worlds. Geometry, algebra, and arithmetic are the thrones for astronomy, medicine, architecture, calendars, arts, religion, creation, civilization, orders of the universe, and harmonies of life. All are contingent upon numbers. The mystery system of Egypt acquires its strength from the 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. These are the strong numbers because they cannot be divided evenly, unlike the 2, 4, 6, and 8. Here are a few examples of the creative powers of those positive numbers. The 1, creator, causeless cause, rootless root. The 3, there are always 3 steps on the master's carpet. The triunala, wisdom, will, love. Egyptian, initiation, illumination, and perfection. Yehoshua, belief, faith, fruition. Drew Ali, member, sheik, adept, mastery, knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. Freemasonry, apprentice, fellowcraft, and master mason. Christianity, Islam's natural enemy, is structured in illusions of the three-step Egyptian mastery system. Its European churches assert the Trinity of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. This God has only one begotten Son named Yehoshua, who was created in Rome's Vatican with pure European features. These are just too many gods to serve. This man made threesome is colloquially known as the white man. They are made in the likeness and image of European interests. Freemasonry, the masterful liberal arts degrees of Christian Science and the chief protector of the Christian creed, also functions upon a semblance of the Egyptian initiation, illumination, and perfection. The 3 degrees is all of Freemasonry is under the auspices of apprentice, fellowcraft, and master mason. See Freemasonry. Here in the Night Lodge, Masons secretly don the ancient Moorish diadem, the fez, that Muslim men have worn openly and freely for thousands of years. The 5 highest principles: love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Senses: sight, hearing, smell, taste, and touch. Organs: head, right arm, right leg, left leg, left arm. Pardon the body. Elements: ethereal, fire, water, air, and land. Ruling planets: Venus, Mercury, Mars, Saturn, and Jupiter. North Star: 5 pentagrams, 72 degrees each, 360 degrees. The 7 ancient Chaldeian or Egyptian mystery system. First degree: past the forest, which is medicine and science. Second degree: Necros, the geometric energy, shapes, structures, and designs. The 3rd degree: Melaphoris, science of non-polarized energies, e.g., time, finite duration between life and death. 4th degree: Christophoris, inherent laws of growth relativities from light and sound, e.g., vegetation, music, colors, crystals, and metals. 5th degree: Balahate, science of nature and alchemic laws, logic, and the philosophy of transmutation and realization of simplicity from the most complex. 6th degree: Astronomist, the manipulation of the cosmic powers in harmony with the human body and other living things. The Polaris, interaction balance with the body and the galaxies. The study of stimulative or sedative ethers. 7th degree: Propheta, the wisdom of God in man, the right of Emmanuel, adept and prophethood, conquest of self, God's realization, the Christ. These are the 7 degrees of the ancient Egyptian mastery system. The 7 represents the totality of divine creation. The ancient ones developed the curriculum for the 7 degrees from this completed circle of creation. There are 7 days in a circle, which totals everything made. Each day marked the completion of an ethereal life form from its alpha to omega. There are only 7 days in a year. They are Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Question 101. There are 7 creative spirits with the 7 ethereal planes. The 7 infinite thoughts of Allah, which created everything that ever was, is, or evermore to be. The ancient Hebrews called these thoughts Elohim. The Adepts called them the 7 eyes of Allah. Man calls these ether planes the planes of protoplast, earth, plant, beast, man, angel, and cherubim. Moorish Holy Quran 11:19-38. There are 7 chakras sealed within the human body. These chakras are fixed from the base of the spine upright through the heart of the mind. Yehoshua said, man couldn't resurrect until the fixed is solved. Moorish Holy Quran 1737. The ancient Siddha gurus called these the astral bodies of light. Each must be lightened with wisdom. See third eye. There are also 7 sounds on the master music scale. All the audibles heard by the ears of man are the summation of these sounds. The 7 colors in the spectrum. These constitute everything seen by human eyes. Without these colors, the human signals are useless. 7 senses for the conscious man. 5 below the eyebrows, sight, hearing, smell, taste, and touch are 2, and 2 above the eyebrows, intuition and telepathy. 7 degrees in the Adept chambers of the Moorish Science Temple of America, AC of the M.E.C.C.A, third heaven, question 56. The degrees of high consciousness in Drew Ali's third heaven are identical to the ancient Egyptian mystery system developed by the first African gods to be formed in flesh. This origin is held by the old Hebrews as the story of Adam and Eve. Noble Drew Ali brought these degrees of God attainment in the missing 18 years of Yehoshua's life, omitted from the Bible. The lessons are found in his life, works, and teachings of Yehoshua by Sheikh Sharif Abdul Ali. See index. 7 degrees of the mastery to the divine ministry. First degree, sincerity, chapter 24. No, excuse me, chapter 14. Second degree, justice, chapter 15. Third degree, faith, chapter 16. Fourth degree, philanthropy, chapter 17. Fifth degree, heroism, chapter 18. Sixth degree, love divine, chapter 19. And seventh degree, ministry of death, which is chapter 20 and 21, prophethood. We cannot omit the Aquarian age as the 7th of time, known as prophesied by the ancient Moorish scientists, which would follow the 2,000-year Piscean age. The Piscean age, symbolized by the sign of fish, represents the period when man's consciousness would travel by seas and waterways. The number 4 Piscean age was 6. The number of the Aquarian age is 7, and it represents the time when man's consciousness would travel by air and other ethereal planes. It would do well to note that the Roman Catholic Mass is based upon 7 sacraments: baptism, reconciliation, Eucharist, confirmation, marriage, ordination, and unction, anointing of the sick. But its Christian splinter groups, Protestants, Lutherans, Methodists, etc., went back to the 6, the body of Christ, blood and wine. The original 7 degrees are the ancient god man Ish and goddess Isha training lessons of the ancient Moorish in African holistic civilization. The original has, pardon about it, these originals, his and her lessons of self-mastery, which all initiates upon completion of the holy instructions were called gods and goddesses. See Adam and Eve. Those who titled themselves as white gods without these courses in divinity are impostors and Moorish imitators. The Moorish are the true founders of Islam, Hotep, or Islamism. Note, all things created and governed by Allah, the one derived by the 3, wisdom, will, and love, directed by the holy breath of the 5 principles of action: love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. All rest upon the 7. When man is fully conscious of himself, then he and his creator are in fact one. The deification of man now brings us from 1 through the 3, 5, 7 to the 9. The 9 is reentry. 9 is the triune times 3. According to ancient science, in science, the 9 is symbolic of reentry. The 9 is the conscious rebirth of the God man when the God man of truth attains unto himself, and Allah is all. The 9 is the last whole number before new life, life everlasting. 9 is man leaving the perpetual realms of Y to enter his natural state, divine infinity. This numerical marks man's final use for the illusion of time, space, and calculation. The number 9 and the goddess. The woman also symbolizes the life encompassing power of 9. She sits upon the holy throne of goddess when touched by a god. From the exalted station in 9 months, the goddess alone can create and build a temple for Allah without the sound of a hammer or use of a nail. The temple is called man. Man means thinker. In Freemasonry, the Moorish goddess is called the widow. This is because Masons are those disguised as the 3 ruffians that have knocked her African god Harem in the head, leaving him civilly dead. See Freemasonry. Today, at best, this goddess of the Nile, 9, being alone without her husband, man, or God, is the only widow among the nations of the earth. In the United States and its territories, the new African widow is colloquially spoken of as the single moms or baby mamas of self-proclaimed bitch. See single moms. Nevertheless, this widow is another Western misnomer because man cannot die. The spirit man is one with Allah, and while Allah lives, man cannot die. The human seed that came forth from the heart of Allah, the husbandman of everything that is, threw forth his human seed into the soil of soul. He became the Lord of all the kingdoms of soul. Thus, there can be no widow because Allah is the husbandman. Moorish Holy Quran, chapter 1. No other woman on planet Mud divinely inherits the title of goddess, save the queens from Africa. The only reason bitch is applied to her in the USA is because in science, a bitch is an unprotected female of any species. Her god man has been displaced and has no current jurisdiction over her or their children. The 9 being triune times 3 is further illustrated by the 3 stages, 3 degrees of the perfection of man. Adept, deification of man. Allah equals wisdom plus will plus love. Prophet equals initiation plus illumination plus perfection. Man equals belief plus faith plus fruition. Through these 3 steps times 3 degrees, the ancient ones perfected the mystery system of Egypt. It was so perfectly developed until it became known as the only straight path of perfection, salvation, redemption, or religion. It is the holistic philosophy of these sciences which became the way of life for the ancient Moors over 25,000 years ago. This became the first religious creed that was taught in degrees to initiates over a period of 2 to 3 years exoteric or 12 to 18 years esoteric. Those who were initiated by circumcision and completed the first level of self-mastery received the title of Sheikh or Adept. Graduates of the higher degrees received the titles of God, Prophet, Christ, Messiah, and their life works were called divine ministry. Moses, Abraham, Boaz, Jesse, King David, Solomon, Hezekiah, Joseph, John, and Yehoshua, Isa, all received their prophethood from the same Egyptian mystery system. Some examples, Melchizedek and Yehoshua, were of virgin birth of the Adepts and received the highest God degree called Christdom. All prophets and Christ were distinguished with their own symbol of perfected man. Moses received the staff, David the star, Yehoshua the circled 7, and Noble Ali the circled scimitar and star. Each part of a symbol represents a degree of perfection. The logos is the perfect word, the circle is the perfect symbol, and 7 is the perfect number. Chapter 13, 2 to 5. This is the full lotus of God and man, also taught by the siddhis guru masters. The holy prophet Noble Drew Ali brought the Egyptian mystery system in the highest degree ever known to man and bestowed it upon his people, the Moorish Americans. For the first time in 3 ages, 6,000 years, have these lessons been given to an entire nation of people by their ancient forefathers. He divinely instructed the Moorish American, there is no one who is able to change man from the descended nature of his forefathers, Moorish Holy Quran 47:11, being their prophet. His greatest task is to start them to thinking. This ancient system is the old-time religion called Islamism. Question 17:18. It is not in conflict with the perfecting of your religion in the great Quran of Muhammad, as brought to his sinful polytheistic people of Mecca, Arabia. In fact, Islamism is the uniting of the Holy Quran of Mecca for the teaching and instructing all Moorish Americans, etc. Moorish Holy Quran 45:1. Islam is a perfect segment of Hotep Islamism. This is the old time religion which Christians sing for. This is the old time religion which Christians sing for. The Moorish, who were the ancient Moabites from the land of Canaan and the founders of the holy city of Mecca, Moorish Holy Quran 45:2, are the true Sunni Muslims. The word Sunni means original. The word Sunni means original, and Muslims are those who submit their will to the will of the great God Allah. The Moorish are also the founders of the first religious creed, Islamism, historically known as the 3 steps on the master carpet, the ancient Chaldæan mystery system. These degrees, once placed upon the 3-step ladder of salvation, belief, faith, fruition, would raise the consciousness of the initiate to wisdom of self, the higher self. Through the knowledge of the lower self, the illusions of the world which are concerned with time, one would become a mastermind, adept with the grace of God Allah. The true education is the definition of the word saved, which is root of salvation. Anyone who claims to be saved and is not free with these true knowledge of the selves is in the feigned redemption of Maya. They are still slaves to sin. Again, written upon the sacred temples and walls of the ancient pyramids are the words Sutanotni, man know thyself. The ultimate goals of the Egyptian mystery system and more science, Islamism, are the deification of man. This is the most misunderstood lesson in the Moorish American curriculum. Yet the Yet the value of all their virtues, standards, and principles rests squarely upon mastering these first degrees. Drew Ali was the first to bring the ancient principle of Sutanotni to them, declaring in the voice of their forefathers to first know thyself. Know thyself and thy father God Allah. Prophet Yehoshua, born in Bethlehem of Judah in the house of David, became an Egyptian adept Christ during the 18-year period of his life not found in the Bible. The main reason he was so misunderstood was because he was born during the Piscean age, but his life's works and teachings were the spiritual bridge from man to Allah. It would be 2,000 years before the human family would realize what he has done. All men must do. This is also the reason Sheikh Sharif Abdul Ali could not bring a new religion. He brought the ancient science of Islamism, as it was also revealed to him in Egypt. The same revelations given to the Holy Prophet Muhammad by the angel Gabriel in Arabia, Drew Ali simply returned again to the Moorish that which is theirs through inheritance and divine guidance. Moorish Americans often refer to these sacred teachings as the 7 great wonders and mysteries. Even in congregational prayer, they stand with eyes open, raised arms, with 5 fingers extended on the left hand and 2 fingers on the right. Leveled at the eyes, a Moor's diadem head then becomes the world beyond the circle of the sun. 22. This is the prayer stand of all Moorish initiates. All 10 fingers extended with feet at a 45-degree angle is the prayer stance of an adept. Islam, Islam, Islam.
Islamism, brother. Gratitude, family, for opening up the way. Praise be to Allah. Islamism without the schism. You know, we rise upon the 7, giving all praises to the great God Allah, Father God Allah, and honors to his holy prophet, honors to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, Al-Hajj, Sharif Abdul Ali, that is. We give honors to our Moorish kin once again, here, there, and everywhere. And therefore, honors to all of you who are continuously honoring yourselves by being yourselves. We give honors to our Grand National Seal, Grand National Emblem, National Flag, Divine Constitution and bylaws, and honors to all of you who are indeed a living manifestation and personification of everything. And I do mean everything that our holy prophet brought to make us a nation. Islam Moors, we got a grand drawing to bring on the manifest today. And I know our Moorish kin is probably expecting a grand lesson, you know, but we're gonna do things a little bit different today. And we're gonna actually have a grand drawing to bring to the manifest to our Moorish kin. What we want to do, family, and as we always tell you, you know, we don't do things in a secret way. We bring things forth in a sacred way. And this is the greatest time to come forth, being that we are actually in the chapters of self-mastery. You know, everything is right on time. It's not strange. You know, it wasn't even arranged this way, but everything fell right on the time of us, the cusp, so to speak, of us completing, you know, our different aspects of going through the different languages. We want to express to our Moorish kin gratitude for the faithful, because many are called and few are chosen. And those who are on this particular platform right now are indeed the chosen. And we will see why in a minute. So we will begin with a grand drawing, you know, of conferring, you know, the degrees of honor upon our Moorish kin for their completion, you know, successfully going through these languages, you know, because you are the ones who are the preservers of this culture. You know, you are the ones who are the preservers of our historical data. You know, we have a new library of archives and wisdom that is on the manifest and on the rise. So we just want to say gratitude to our Moorish kin for your due diligence and all the work that you have done. And the public, you know, most definitely will follow along with us, you know, as we confer, you know, these special degrees of honor upon our Moorish kin for their completion, successful completion, dealing with the language. And this is where we will actually come forth with credentials that have come from on high by the prophet himself, you know. And man, all I can say is we have our sages on the manifest, we have our scribes on the manifest, and they are proving themselves thoroughly, you know, to be those who have been chosen for this special work. So we want to honor all of you, you know, in many different ways. We want to honor all of you, most definitely. I want to come forth with an special drawing before we go into, you know, these honors that we getting ready to bestow upon all of those who are here. Like I say, everybody might have had it in mind, you know, that they was coming for a class this morning. And it will be, it's a teachable moment as well, you know, but this is, again, where we acknowledge the hard work, the tiresome work. Our Moorish kin did some research, family, you know, and we got a lot to lay down. I would like to go back over, a few measures as we go into this special drawing. We seen our brother just read from the book of fire, and he went through the 7 adept degrees of self-mastery. And many believe that these degrees of unfoldment are a myth, when it comes to dealing with our people. There are those who have no idea as to what they represent. I want to come forth with sources, that support those same 7 degrees you heard our brother bring on the manifest. There are 7 that have to do with, us going through stages of mastery through preparation. And then there are 7 that deal with what we call going into the senior course, And today, our Moorish kin stands 6 times before the bar. Praise be to Allah. So I want to come forth from our beloved brother's book in reference to those 7 degrees of unfoldment that our chairman brought forth in the book of fire, in the work of our beloved brother, Maela African Holistic Health. He speaks briefly on these same degrees, and he states the mystery system. And he was dealing with the medical aspect, medicinal measures, drawing from the spirit of Imhotep. Our beloved brother was demonstrating. He was indeed a return of the ancient one for this. But he says the mystery system, he said, has 7 degree levels or steps of learning before completion. The first degree educates you in the course or base aspects of medicine and is known as Pastophorus or Pastophorus. This system is not confined to medicine and includes all known and unknown sciences. However, the initiate could be educated for a specific area, major, or talented, a combination of areas, majors. In any case, upon completion, of the first degree, the student advances to the neocorus or neocorus degree, which focuses on the structural energy of medicine, such as the energy of shapes, squares, pyramids, triangles, and obelisks. For those who are not familiar with this is dealing with sacred geometry. Then the melanophorus or melanophorus degree is studied, whereby the student learns the energy forces of non-polarized energy, such as melanin, DNA energy state, which is created between the death and life state. In the Histophorus or Christophorus degree, the student learns to will the inherent law of plants, crystals, metals, colors, magnets, music, etc. In the 5th degree, Balahate or Balahati, the student learns the science of nature and interactions of alchemic laws. In the 6th degree of Astronomus, it states the student learns the cycles, astrology, and the manipulations of the cosmic forces and their reaction in cells, thoughts, biochemistry, organs, bones, emotions, vitamins, and minerals in the body and on the galaxy. In the 7th degree of the Propheta, the student learns all the secrets of the high mystery system and becomes a god. Master PhD. Interesting to note, the word God is not meant in the European Orthodox sense. In African culture, if a chicken had offspring, or children, they were called chickens. And if God had children, man, they'd be called gods. The title God was earned via the mystery system and the application of Ma'at in the daily life. The course of completion could take up to 13 years or more, a combination of high school and college. Today, the course has been adapted, reduced, and translated and put in a language conducive for the social condition Africans are in, which is under what is called a term by modern people, white supremacy. It is to be used as technology for African liberation. So these degrees, our beloved brother state, has to be used as technology for African liberation. Want to give honors to our beloved brother. And even the European family is not a stranger to these special degrees. The European Manly P. Hall, author of a whole bunch of books. You know, he was actually doing it around during the time of the prophet even. He spoke in reference to these same degrees that we're dealing with right now. And we will let you hear what he said, you know, so our family can see that not only our people are familiar with these things, even our brother G.M. James understood this mystery system, understanding that the Moors are the ones that brought these things forth. So it is now generally acknowledged that the Egyptians of all the ancient people were the most learned in the occult sciences of nature. The wisest philosophers from other nations visited Egypt to be initiated in the sacred mysteries by the priests of Thebes, Memphis, and Hermopolis, Thales, Salome, Pythagoras, Plato. They all journeyed from Greece to the delta of the Nile in quest of knowledge. Upon returning to their own country, these illumined men acknowledged the Egyptians to be the wisest of mortals, and the Egyptian temples to be the repositories of the most sublime doctrines concerning the history of the gods and the regeneration of men. The decline of Egypt under the Ptolemies. Now here it is, a European, you know, speaking of this same measure of showing you what Egypt declined. Remember, the last native pharaoh was in 360 BC, 360 degrees, completion of knowledge. You know, this happened during the time cut into the rule by the Ptolemies in 330 BC, you know, which actually has to do with the rise, you know, of the Ptolemies and the fall of the original people of the land. So it says that the decline, hence also where the European like to draw on a so-called 33rd degree. And where they receive this is where Kemet basically is put to sleep, so to speak. It says the decline of Egypt under the Ptolemies resulted in the dissipation of the sacred arcana and the violation of sanctuaries of the Hermetic gods. So you see, Manly P. Hall here referred to this as a violation. It says the priests retired into the deserts and migrated to more hospitable hands. It says, and that's, you know, when the brother G.M. James said that, you know, these special teachings were taken by the high priest of Anu, which he referred to, you know, of Amun-Ra the Moor, so to speak. You know, this is what he's referring to here. The priests retired in the deserts and migrated to more hospitable lands across North Africa. It says, in the distant and desolate places, the old rites flourish anew, and the Hierophants still deliver judgment with 40 scrolls spread before them. It says on the altar top. European culture thwarted by the Dark Ages languished in the patristic dungeons to be freed artistically by the Renaissance and religiously by Reformation. This was during the time of the Golden Age, or what they call the Age of Enlightenment. You know, when the Moors brought Europe out of the Dark Ages, so to speak. It said it was not until the 18th century of the Christian era, however, that thought, free from bondage to sophistry and pedantics, recognized and acknowledged the indebtedness that each generation owes to antiquity. 18th century savants sought valiantly in the ruin of time among the battered monuments half buried in the Egyptian sand for the lost keys to the sacred sciences. Only scholarship can rebuild, rededicate the ruined, desecrated shrines of the old wisdom. Dimly perceptible in the subtle hints of classical writers, arcanely initiated in symbol and fable, and thinly veiled by the great institution of classical philosophy, the secret doctrine may yet be recovered to enrich and complete that material knowledge which is the boasted power of modern men. The fable of Isis and Osiris belongs to the earliest period of Egyptian metaphysical speculation. The myth of the dying god recurs in most of the great world religions. The life, death, and resurrection of the mortal have become the prototype for numerous doctrines of human regeneration. The Crowder Report Rite, which has been inserted in this book, sets forth the principal elements of the initiatory drama, restored from the ancient authorities through, of course, incomplete in its esoteric parts. The ritual is faintly reminiscent of the sublime spectacles which transpired in the subterranean chambers and crypts of ancient Egyptian temples. He who ponders well the mystery may perchance discover under the figures and symbols of the old ceremonies allusions to ever-living qualities and ever-present problems. And this he referred to in relation to dealing with these special degrees that we have now before us. You see, the same ones. And so, well, we always like to hear, the truth being spoken, coming straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak. This is a grand draw, Moorish Ken. So what I want to do before I go any further, I'm going to share my screen, because right now, like I say, we're in the process of conferring these honors upon our Moorish kin, and this is a powerful demonstration. Let me share my screen here. As we go into this, we want to touch on these measures also from the unfoldment, okay, there we go, right there. Yeah, we want to touch on these special degrees dealing with the Egyptian adept rite of self-initiation. Each and every one of our Moorish kin that is right here before us have went through these various rites of self-initiation, and have proven to be steadfast. They have proven to be upright, independent, and fearless. They have proven to be servants of humanity, just as Prophet Noble Drew Ali. You see, and all of these things that you see here are symbolic, to that special journey. So let me open up the way. And as we open this special drawing up, I would like to go to, these grand drawings that are placed on the manifest here. In this special work, the Egyptian Adept Rite of Self-Initiation, this has to do with us taking initiative ourselves, to go through the chambers of the self and become masterminds. Praise be to Allah for sending us Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I want to give honors to our Grand National Chairman, for everything it is that he has done in bringing us everything the Prophet had brought us in a clean and pure nature, so to speak. You see, nobody else has done this. We want to give honors. If you notice here, family, just going into the aspect of the history that we have been given of our Holy Prophet, he received his degrees of unfoldment, as he went over into the land of ancient Kemet. And by the time he came out, he was said to come out between the paws of the Sphinx. He was only given so much and so, of a glass of water, so to speak. And over one night, we can say a whole 24-hour period, if you want to call it that right there. He had to find his way out of this special labyrinth, so to speak. He had to make his way through these special underground passageways that led from the Great Pyramid all the way over here to the Sphinx. And this is actually the layout in the map of this special demonstration. If you notice here, you see the gateway point, you know, and the steps, and then one goes down the steps. You know, you can even see an arch entrance, what looks like a ladder here, but you see the entrance in the hall, in the tunnel. All of this is beneath the Sphinx. And if you don't believe me, go and do research, you know, on what they call, you know, the Sphinx and the underground chambers that are in Egypt. So there's a circular temple that is beneath, you know, the junction of the chamber of three passages to the pyramids right here, which shows you how it was that he ended up coming out of here. Now, this is his test, you know, to prove that he was who he was. And he was told after the entry that he went through in the base of the chambers, you know, that when he went into these special measures, he was told that if he didn't find his way out of this demonstration, he would perish, like some who had been thought to be the mastermind that he was thought to be in this era and time. You know, and basically, if he passed form by failure, he would become, you know, nothing more than bones, just as those who perished before him. You know, so we have heard stories of the European trying to dig in particular places over there, you know, and it not ending well for them. You know, yet and still our holy prophet went through this special test and he passed it, and it proves who basically that he was who they believe he was. You know, and it is said that he was seen as a reincarnation, you know, of, you know, the last true Egyptian hierophant, you see. And our brother P. Nathaniel Johnson, who was a student of Prophet Noble Drew Ali, carrying on a legacy, even though he had created his Fahimi Temple of Islam, you know, the Ethiopian temples of Islam in 1919. In his teachings, you can see, you know, remnants of the teachings of Prophet Noble Drew Ali as far as dealing with the history of the Hamites, the Cushites. In his questionnaire, we can see him referring to Prophet Noble Drew Ali as a prophet. We can see that he mentions the words that a lot of Moors, you know, are so upset, you know, with our chairman about. He speaks on Ish and Isha. He makes comparison of Ish and Isha to Alsar and Alset, you know, our brother Pete Nathaniel Johnson. Now, this is one who studied under our prophet, you know, freshly after returning as an Egyptian adept student, you know, and also he said we recognize Noble Drew Ali as a prophet, but he also compared Prophet Noble Drew Ali in reincarnation to Amun-Ra. And we know that Amun-Ra is indeed, you know, considered the hierophant, you know, of ancient Kemet, at least one of them. Most importantly, the word Amun means the hidden light that becomes manifest by means of Ra. You know, we are asked the questions in our 101s. Can you see him? No. Where's the nearest place you can meet him? In the heart. You see, on another particular drawing in relation to dealing with, we know Amen was also known as Mar. And we also understand that Mar, you know, along with the high priest of Anu being known as Mar, you know, also in certain measures, they say Mir, you know, actually dealing with the pyramid or the temple of perfected man. You know, all of this goes back to these rites of self-initiation that we're bringing on the manifest now. You know, it don't get no plainer. And it's like we say, we don't keep secrets, we keep it sacred. You know, right now we're giving our key, universal keys to our people. And if one's mind is not ready to receive it, it will be no different than putting a handful of jewels, you know, in the hands of one who know not what they have or have no idea of what they embrace. And they would just put them up somewhere and let them, you know, maybe in a shoebox or, you know, in a closet, and not knowing, you know, the greatness that they have. You know, they would collect dust and spider webs and everything else. So this is one special expression. Here's another view of the same entryway and dealing with the map, you know, showing the entry points, you know. Here's, and notice it's showing the same thing, reception chamber under the Sphinx here, the circular temple, you know, to the pyramids. You see, powerful demonstration. You know, also here, you know, it's showing another expression of the map, and it's showing the circle temple of neophytes and neophytes passage into the pyramids, right? Now, it said our holy prophet, you know, he had to go through this special journey being blindfolded, so to speak, you know, not hoodwinked, even though people try to compare these things the same. In other words, he was taken into this particular way, you know, and then basically told to find himself back from this special way, you know, on his journey back to where he came, basically. How would you expect one to do this who come as an ex-M.E.C.C.A, you know, into Kemet, you know, and not knowing anything about the land, less knowing going into these sacred chambers? That's a grand test right there, family. So here it is, now that it shows a picture, you know, also mapping, you know, how one is coming down from those same entry points through the Sphinx, and it's showing, you know, that you could actually come forth, you know, through this great pyramid, you know, the other chambers, all these particular measures, and come on up out of here. You know, notice that. Also, it is noteworthy to show here there's a queen's chamber mentioned here, a king's chamber. You know, you have also the subterranean vault, which one actually has to come up out of, you know, in order to get into the heights of it. All this is symbolic to the self, the mental, physical, and the spiritual, right? And notice it says the elevation that looking west. So in order for one to go into that special demonstration, one is going east, which is symbolic to the self. West is outside of the body, and east is coming within the body, so to speak. Here's another view, you know, dealing with all of the chambers as well, the map, you know, the subterranean chamber, the queen's chamber, the grand gallery, you know, in which one ascends into the king's chamber. Again, i.e., 3 degrees of unfoldment, you know, and want to give honor to our family, because right now, that's what we honoring, the fact that they have moved from the subterranean aspect to the queen's chamber and are now within the realms of the king's chamber, so to speak. You see? And there it is, as it has been stated. Matheno said, "Behold this land of Egypt of the dead. Our temples long have been the tombs of hidden things of time. Our temple crypts and caves are dark. In light, there is no secret thing. The sun reveals all hidden truth. There are no mysteries in Allah. Behold the rising sun. His beams are entering every door, yes, every crevice of the mystic crypts of Mizraim. We hailed the light. All Egypt craves the light." Moorish Holy Quran, Adept Chamber, ayats 12 through 16. And this has to do with again, as we go through this special measure, family, yeah, going into these special drawings here, you know, we want to show our Moorish kin all of these things so that they will have a clear conception of what our prophet went through, and everything that he did, we also would do. Then we go into a measure dealing with this special temple, dealing with the secret places of the hidden God. You know, and if you notice, this is referring to the temple in man. All of this deal with what goes on above the neck in all actuality. You know, all of this has to do with one unfolded. Notice coming out of the chamber of ordeal, which is the subterranean, going on up, you know, in the from the descent into the door of ascent, you know, and this is the path of coming forth in the regenerated soul and the crossing of the pure roads of life. And as we go all the way up, dealing with the path of the coming forth of resurrection, into the passage of the veil, the chamber of the open tomb of resurrection, which is again in the king's chamber. You see, secret places of the hidden God. All of this has to do with various degrees of unfoldment. We don't want to go into all of what's being explained up here. We just want to allude to the fact that your chamber is above your neck. Always remember that. It's not some place in a building where man will take you through, but a place that is above the neck. And this is special drawing. This is powerful, family. This is very powerful. Now, in mention of this special drawing that has to do with different aspects of consciousness, what we will mention is that there's a door known as the lucid door, where the dream shift to the back of the head is, which is in the region of the cerebellum in the brain. All of this corresponds, with different stages of consciousness. We can also see with, where one consciousness can shift towards and beyond the top of one's head, whereby one spirit can fly as Heru, the hawk. And this is what happened when one makes ascent upward. This is just as the great God said in the Grand Quran, he established the 7 heavens and he arose. Because there are 5 hidden chambers in this grand pyramid that people don't know about. They represent 5 plus the 2. And that's 7 in reference to the degrees. The subterranean chamber is just a preparation chamber. You see? Also, it talks about one's consciousness shifting towards the front of one's head. And this induces, what is called out-of-body experience. So one is able to go through initiation, after mastering the earth as is seen here, one's own body. You see, we have the Osiris degree up here as well of unfolding. All this is dealing with self-mastery. So in our Moorish Holy Quran, it stated, one night he slept, slumber, killed, dozed, not alert. At midnight hour, a door, a mental trance into self, or the gateway of his accomplished mind that he had not observed was open. See, we're talking about that same door, that was open, right? It says, and a priest in somber, dismal, toned down, subdued, muted, not flashy, a stylish garb came in and said, you are the victim of a cruel plot. The priests of Heliopolis are jealous of your fame, and they have said that you will never leave these gloomy crypts alive. And so we went over this in our Moorish perspectives last night. These thoughts that rise up against one, they come from oneself, not someone outside of the self, because one is told to go within their own soul and find themselves. This is the charge of the Hierophant. You see? So all of this deals with self-mastery. As we can see here, the eye of Ra, Heru, is in the center of the brain. This is where your optic thalamus, which actually deals with the chamber of light is. You see? And we also seen here where it speaks of these special drawings, family. It says, you are within a holy place, Moorish Holy Quran, and you will see upon a living shrine the candle of a large flame. And when you see it burning here, look deep within the temple of your brain, and you will see it all aglow. And every part from head to foot are candles in place, just waiting to be lighted by the flaming torch of love. And when you see the candles all aflame, just look, and you will see with eyes of the soul the waters of the fount of wisdom rushing on, and you may drink and there abide. The curtains part, and you are where the ark of Allah rests, whose covering is the mercy seat. Fear not to lift the sacred board. The tables of the law are in the ark concealed. Take them and read them well, for they contain all the precepts that man will ever need. And in the ark of magic wand, it says, for they contain all prophecy, lies waiting for your hands. It says it is the key to all the hidden meanings of the present, future, and past. The cherubim have guarded well for every soul this treasure box, and whosoever will may enter in and find his own. It's key to understand, what the cherubim represents and what the cherubim is demonstrating. And at the root of cherubim, you can even see the name Heru right here, if you really paid attention to that, right? Moorish Holy Quran, Adept chapter 12, ayats 15 through 23. And then we have a depiction of the sacred halls of Ta'apit, a true and living temple of God, which is, we can see, based upon man himself. This is what we're getting at right here, family. And it's stated in our Moorish Holy Quran, for as I passed by and beheld your devotions, I found an altar with this inscription, to the unknown God, whom therefore ye ignorantly worship him, declare I unto you, God that made the world and all things therein, seeing that he is Lord of heaven and the earth, dwelleth not in temples made with hands. Carnal thoughts, carnal tools, as we see, are useless in the workshop of the mind, therefore, right? Where thought is used to build character. So to build a temple of perfection, we don't use carnal tools. All of our tools are used in the workshop of the mind, where thought is used to build character. Neither is worship with men's hands, carnal thoughts, as though he needed anything. Seeing he giveth to all life and breath and all things. You see, and then we quoted the Piscean records, Acts 17:23 through 25. You see, and so here you see a chart that deals with what it states the adept, and it's showing you again that this chamber is above the neck. You see the silhouette of a skull with a pyramid featured in it. And we just went through what these things represent briefly. And there we also see our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, the Egyptian adept student. He was a mastermind. This is what it means to be a mastermind. And he came forth with the ability, having all the wisdom and power of those in Kemet and the adepts of Egypt, and having the power to destroy various diseases and all types of things, being able to heal self and others as well. And this alludes back to the same demonstration our brotherly Lord, Africa, was referring to. So having this knowledge now, family, we can now see that again, the true Hierophant is within. The true comedian adept master within, which is they call Heru Ami Abu, the dweller of hearts. We know the guide is spirit man that is within one. Ra Heru Akti Anpu, right? The scribe, which is very important. Tehuda, the keeper of records, the thought of Allah. The priest in Samagar. This is that Hekakasuda Hyksos M.E.C.C.A thought pattern. That comes up with the negativity. The priestess of Heliopolis are the priest of Amun, the Himneta Tepi in Amun, first prophet of Amun, the revealers of the light. This represents, the thoughts that are manifested, in you. High priests, the high priest of Ra, greatest seers and ascendant master thinkers, the Shemsu Ra. This is what Prophet Noble Drew Ali expressed to our Moorish king, being an ancestor on how the tempter is also within man, Sup, the lower self, the Shemsu-A. The white robe priests represent the clean and pure thought that is made manifest, which is known as the Shemsu in Tehudi. And the brothers of the silent brotherhood are the Shemsu Netarah. All this stuff has to do with self. And again, the Hierophant Amun Ra represents the higher self, as we stated earlier. The chamber walls that one observes when they are told to find themselves and to look at the mystic signs and think out the meanings. This is where the heart and mind and soul of man reside. That's why man is told to go within the soul. So the hieroglyphs in all actuality are a silent enigma, which is dealing with the voice of the great God, Medu Netta, and not an alphabet. So all of these things we put here, on the manifest, and then we demonstrated the sacred texts, which you can see that are written here in actual language of the Kemites, which came from the hearts and minds of our mothers and fathers, which is a saving power, which is called M.E.C.C.A. So the gloomy crypts, Male School of Illusion, the Antechamber. That's where all of the illusions come from. Phantom form, ghosts, and then you have the trial chamber of hypocrisy, where one has to face themselves. Nothing is inscribed here. This is also a burial chamber to those who are not able to overcome that. The judgment seat of All-Star, the seat of consciousness. Every initiate goes through this special process when we deal with death, birth, and the resurrection cycle to become like All-Star. The scroll of self-certainty. One is being given, which our family is about to receive in a few minutes. Spacious room, the open mind, and the hidden upper chamber. This is one's area of room for growth, and so forth and so on. So these are the different measures, again, pointing to those things that take place within the self. Whereas why we use the term self initiation, make no mistake about it, family. And also just going back here to where we were, at the very top, the whole key is this special drawing here. Recognizing the seven Ali, the seven eyes of Allah, the seven chakras in the logo circle 7. This is the pathway of the initiate, the neophyte, and the student adept, to become a living expression of the Shinus effect. Shinu meaning circles effect being 7. And this is where one comes into that 7th degree of unfoldment. Only the great God Allah can confer that upon you. No man has that special power, to dictate that authority. Yet it takes an adept to teach an adept how to be an adept. So I would like to read this portion, and we will begin with the process of giving our Moorish kin their just due. It states Ali receives the title of Sharif and is anointed prophet. And actually it starts up here. I want to start from here. And this is our Grand National Chairman, his commentary. It says Ali passes the 7th adept degree and becomes the last prophet. Adept keys to the journey of circumnavigation within. The adept chamber of the dead, the temple of perfected man, the mysteries of Egypt, the spirit nucleus, and God conscious unknown by carnal man. The senior course of study. It states the earlier courses of sincerity, justice, faith, philanthropy, heroism, and divine love now, right? It says it's successfully passed by Ali, where the angelic prepared classes of purification necessitated in order for him to obtain the following 7 adept in highest adept degree. The matriculation of the first 6 adept degrees guided Ali solely by the hands of Allah, and thus building a firm rock of understanding he needed to save his people from the wrath of Allah. Now he must complete the course to become the master and answer 400 years of countless prayers sent by his people. This senior course of study now was opened up, and Ali became a personal pupil of the Hierophant. This is something that we all must do, family. The Hierophant which is within. This is why the Prophet gave us these degrees in this special way. Nothing wrong with us physically taking a Hajj or making a Hajj to Kemet, but he gave us a chart, so to speak, that we may be able to go within and go through this process of unfoldment. And when we go into Kemet, we will recognize it for what it truly is. It says the Hierophant, a Hierophant, epitomizes the highest order of love, God, that will appear in human form. A Hierophant is the Egyptian adept interpreter with the wisdom of science to teach the mysterious manifestations and sacred doctrines of truth, that God in man is truly a fact known as life. The hierophantic transliterations of the divine evolution of spirit man to Allah is the sacred course of man perfecting himself as love divine. This is why the purifications, it says, of Ali, a young adept master, must go through the sores of his soul, by mastering the toils of what life is truly spent to build. Here in the mystic lodge and chamber of the Adepts, Ali, the student, has gone before the bar 6 times and had become a conqueror of each degree. The lessons Ali learned had prepared him to appear before the Hierophant, the purity of love in man. Ali learned the secrets of the mystic lore, the wisdom, the heritage teachings, historical knowledge and experience teachings of genealogy, hand down truths through generations of Egypt land, the capital of dominion of Africa. The ancient Cometians were the world's first teachers, scientists, builders, and original experts of agriculture, metaphysics, educators of God and man as one. Ali also learned the mysteries of life and death, it says, of the world beyond the circle of the sun. Our holy prophet told the Moors he was going to take them up above the sun, moon, and stars around the almighty throne of Allah. And he have done this by means of these degrees and also continuing to work with us from the plane of soul. Spirit man came forth from the heart of the great God and cannot die. He is God and has no beginning and no end. The circle of the sun is the plane of soul, universal science, where things are made of thought, and with brightness so complete, it can only be seen with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. When Ali had finished all the studies of the senior course, he went into the chamber of the dead. The chamber of the dead is the Comedian sacred school of everlasting life, where a student learns the friendly purpose of the death angel and the force of infinite wisdom from the heart of man. In this chamber, a student learns the boundlessness of the God self and how the lower self is limited by the actions of the soul, that he might learn the ancient methods of preserving from decay the bodies of the dead, which deals with mummification. Mummification is another commission art of preserving of the body or a body well used. It says once the spirit and the soul have no more use for the mundane life. Preserving dead bodies for the memorial is the foundation for today's human monuments, statues, and works of art. And here Ali wrote, the master student elevated his thoughts and adjusted his mindset to rely upon the 6 conquests of adept classes. His heart and mind became fixed on the mission at hand. Ali receives the title Sharif and is anointed prophet, the prophet. Where it says the work of Ali was done, and now he must go to teach the sons of men. It says all the brothers, the council of the Comedian Brotherhood, consists of adept representatives of all human family of nations, right? All of the human family of nations. And they stood and said, this is a royal day for all the hosts of the earth. And this is what we are proclaiming to our Moorish kin on this panel. This is indeed a royal day for all the hosts of the earth that we are getting ready to bring forth, these unfoldments. World leaders and heads of nations, tribes of the human family for salvation. Salvation is a ladder reaching from the heart of men to the heart of Allah. It has 3 steps: belief, faith, and fruition. When Ali received the mystic name, Ali in the number circle 7, he indeed fulfilled the prophecies chiseled in Revelation chapter 10. It says, and appeared in Egypt land sounding the voice of the 7th angel, when he shall begin to sound the mystery of God should be finished, as he hath declared to his servants, the prophets. True salvation has been brought by Ali, the 7th angel, and the mystery of God and man being one has been resolved in the last quarter of the cycle ages. The brotherhood happily embraced Ali, the 7th angel, and they anointed Ali with the honorific title of Sharif, which in Arabic means noble, or highborn, or God sent. This is why to this day our prophet is most known by the name Noble Drew Ali. The royal brotherhood of adepts was joyful to give tribute to Sharif Ali with the highest station, recognized by man, for he is now the prophet. Prophets are angels of Allah manifested in human flesh and can transmute into flesh divine at will. With his will, a prophet is able to the borderlines and manifest in many places at once. These angels can also prophesy all which will occur in the future because they have been there. At the beginning of every cycle age, a major prophet is ordained to the earth to bring in the new era of time. Sharif Ali was prepared 5 times greater than his predecessors because, one, the Aquarian age is the last of the cycle ages when man will need the flesh nevermore. And 2, his Moorish people had been buried 5 times deeper in the wrath of mental slavery than any nation since the fall of man. Sharif Ali has come to bring salvation to all the children of men, all tribes, families, nations, and tongues. El-Hajj Sharif Abdul Ali addresses the 7 sages, goes to Arabia, India, and Africa, and returns to America. The 7 days of silence passed, and Sharif Ali, sitting with the sages, said, "The history of life is well condensed in these immortal postulates. There are 7 hills. The 7 hills are the 7 adept degrees. All Moorish Americans must now master each degree in order to be fortified for the work each citizen has been prepared, appointed to do." It says, on which the city, the holy city, it says, when the holy prophet of Ali explored the soils of Illinois and found ancient treasures there, he later instructed his Moorish nationals to make Chicago your Mecca. You know, now Mecca is a powerful demonstration because Mecca also represents MAG's executive consular chambers of adepts, which is what you are demonstrating with right now, you know, above the neck. It says, now Mecca, or Makkah in Arabic, Makkah al-Makruma of Saudi Arabia, is not only the birthplace of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, who is most noted to be the seal of the prophets, but Mecca is also defined as the spirit center of peace, Islam. Beginning with Adam, every major and minor prophet brought a higher degree of Islam from Kemet, and it has become the world's foremost religious creed. Muhammad brought the final understanding of Islam, and thus he became known as the seal of the prophets, Khatam and Nabi'in. Every prophet from Adam to Ali brought a high degree of Islam, the true pathway of peace, leading from the heart of man to the heart of Allah. And Muhammad brought the final portion of Islam, thus sealing it as the true salvation for man. This is how Mecca became noted as the holiest city in Islam. There it is strictly forbidden for non-Muslims to enter the city. But Mecca is not confined to Arabia, because after the transition of Muhammad, the people of Arabia have warped, twisted, and distorted Islam, apart from its ordained straight way, the way of those whose portion are not wrath and who go not astray. Even though the great God Allah has sent the Arabs a prophet born from amongst them, it did not stop the souls of Arabia from enslaving African nationals. And so it states, in fact, Muhammad's most faithful convert, a slave named Bilal, was an Arabian slave from Ethiopia. Arabians are, it says, world famous slave holding Muslims. It said, who used Islam as a shield to hide and justify nearly 2,000 years of profits gained from the East, and later 1492, the West African slave trade. With the Holy Quran held behind their backs, the Arabs began holy day executions to all non-believers, weak Muslims, and infidels immediately following Jummah, Salat prayer services. This is why the last prophet, Noble Drew Ali, did not bring a new religion, but the old-time religion of Islamism, the study of peace, to its lost-found tribe of Ali in the West. He also told his Moorish, we must take these truths and straighten out our brothers in the East. So as we go along, family, you know, it's much more in here, you know, dealing with these special drawings. And I want to touch this particular drawing right here, just this particular portion here. And as we proceed forth, dear students, let us now follow the footprints of his way. His way begins. The seventh angel was delivered to earth in the darkness of the U.S. slavery on January 8th, 1886, in the state of North Carolina. His name was Timothy Drew at birth, and 16 years later, he arrived in Egypt in 1902. He had been prophesied as the seventh angel who would be born in the West to save his nation from the worst system of human slavery ever imposed upon a people. The wise men of the East were awakened by the glory of this expected birth. They knew the very day of his birth and began the release of the genealogy and secret lessons and missing 18 years of Yehoshua's life, works, and teachings in every language, which had been held back by the Muslims. Still, the mysterious presence of a 16-year-old young man from the United States without parents or guardians caused the presence of Timothy Drew to be recognized instantly. Timothy did not know who he was escorted to the sages of Heliopolis. Drew's answers to a series of questions confirmed to the wise men and sages that he could be the prophesied angel. And there was only one initial test to bestow upon the young Drew to confirm his angelic status. He then was sealed in the Great Pyramid, where only the guidance of the great God Allah could lead him through the dark underground passageways where only the righteous could exit unharmed. And we demonstrated that in all of the maps we showed you, right? The next day, he indeed exited between the sunlit paws of the giant Sphinx through a door known only to a few men on earth. To the delight of the keepers of the gate, Timothy Drew had passed the initial test and is now a neophyte for the Adept course of angels. This heavenly course has been reserved by mastermind through the ages to guide angelic gifts in human form sent to the earth from Allah. So, family, you know, want to give honors to our holy prophet, you know, for everything that it is that he brought us to uplift us and teach us, guiding us, you know, through the pathway. We see all of this has to do with taking us within the self. Remember, the true chamber of unfoldment has always been above the neck, you know, and once we understand this, all is well. Now, to get to our grand degree of unfoldment, honoring those who are sitting here on this special panel, we give honors upon all of you masterminds. And as we go through this measure, what we honor you at, family, is that you have successfully, you know, through what we have seen, through our observation, you know, you have successfully come through, you know, preparation and have unfolded, you know, most definitely being the chosen in this new era in time. Just as the prophet was recognized by the Hierophants during that time, the Hierophants in this new era in time, being the prophet himself working from on high, has recognized you. You have successfully coming through this ancient Kemetic order of the pyramid rite of the mysteries of All-Saw and All-Set, proven beyond a shadow of doubt or contradiction that as aspirants, when you enter as neophytes for admission, you have mastered earthbound conditions. In your preparation, we know that you have overcome to demonstrate a purification of the body and the development over the control of your physical appetites. You have won through the process of preliminary testing in emotional response, intelligence, willpower, and obedience. And these were not tests, you know, that we chose, you know, to demonstrate, but this is just dealing with the character that you have exemplified, family. You have proven this, all of you that are sitting on this panel. You have overcame after coming out of the state of preparation. the various Black Fairs degrees, you see, coming out of that MBC thought pattern, coming out of the grotto of the self, you know, going from 1 to 3, you know, dealing with Pesteperu or Pastophorus. You have come through the way of being apprentice or neophytes. You have mastered the ability to conform, just as water, you know, a representation of the hidden. Amen has aided and assisted you to become a temple opener. And now you have charge over Heka through the master word, which is Om or Amun, the same word that was used to bring creation into being through a vibration. In your initiation process of self-mastery, family, you have proven a purification of the emotions, development of love and mastery of the emotions. You have proven through the unfoldment of Nuakheru or Nerocorus to be craftsmen, discipline, being able to demonstrate in the lights of the air a holy breath, heavy, as temple guardians, receiving the special master word of Heka Huhi, Ihu, having to do with transmutation. You have successfully purified or demonstrated a purification of the mind and development of understanding and mastery of thoughts. We honor you, family. You have successfully went through the degree of Mu'alhu, Nefheru, which is the degree of melanophorus or melanophorus, as master initiates. You have overcome trials by fire as temple high priest. Therefore, understanding that the true dwelling place is within, where we invoke Heka through Heru Ami Abu, the dweller of hearts. Exhumation through your exhumation. You have proven a development and mastery of the willpower and ability to act in service in any conditions of life experience of humility, death, and the underworld. This you have done. Crossing over from that special grotto into the Queen's chamber, the Red Fairs degrees 4 through 6. You have proven to unfold through the degree of Kastepheru or Kistophorus, the ancient builders. You have demonstrated that you are indeed most definitely ancient builders, and you are adept, again, mastering the earth. You see, E.A.R.S being the master word, you know, you being a temple master adept, and this word conforms, so to speak, to the word E.A.R, or Yah, which is actually expressed as the name of the creator from Kemet through all of the Abrahamic religions. You see, the most ancient name that he is known by that connect to all of those cultures and even more. So you have demonstrated resurrection and emergence into the higher life and consciousness. You have defeated through mastery of all self-illusion and vanity, all of those things, you know, that would hinder one. You see, and this is investment, you know, with the powers and attributes of an adept that you have obtained, not by men, but by God himself. Ba Allahuta, which is Balahate, philosopher and master. You have proven to demonstrate this degree in your wisdom, again, being like water, water symbolic with knowledge. You see, being able to change and be fluid, so to speak. You know, this deals with the measure of chemia in reference to alchemy. So you are indeed a temple guide. Kim and Cam is the word of Heka that is brought forth at this particular degree. And in your ascension, you have demonstrated the defeat and mastery of the typhonic energies of life. Typhonic having to do with the lower self, that dragon, and everything else. Mastery of the processes of life and alchemistry. We honor you, family. And last but not least, at this particular time, you know, we honor you with the degree of Ashutaramusa, astronomers, Moor, which is a seer and a priest, you know, again, unfolding through the cycle of expression of air. And the ibis is the sacred expression here. We know the ibis is a symbol of Tehuti. So this is where one has become a temple scribe. Tehuti is the master word, and is also connected, you know, to the previous measure dealing with Ir and Yah. And this is a powerful drawing. So through you coming into this special degree, you have proven unification and being an astronomer before the gates of the gods. All of the E.A.R.S that man must come through, just as all of those who have come through in the past. You have proven a discovery and knowledge of the divine principles, and their spirit plan is working through you. And this last particular measure, you know, can only be obtained by the great God himself, you know, which is that white fez degree that we trust that many of you will also win through. As you stand 6 times before the bar, you know, you will also unfold, you know, in the time at God's speed. You know, this is special degree. The potential is already there because we are perfect, being seized from the source as the source from whence we come. You see? And this is what we are striving to obtain. This is a lifetime mission of unfoldment here to become Sefek Nu Pekharu, because not only do you go through these degrees, but you embody them. Sephet Penkar, the prophetic illuminated one. You know, this is where one reaches the ethers of one's native plane, and Aden is the drawing here. Aden has to do with a garden, a sacred garden. And this is where one becomes one with the great God. One becomes one with the grand hierophant. And this is where one is able to exercise the powers of the name Isha, which is comedically known as Shu and Ashu. This is the enthronement that we all strive for, Moorish kin. And this takes us upon the plane of things made manifest into the realms of being masters, but it takes us also beyond the realm of the plane of things made manifest, where man will know the mysteries. The man who knows the mysteries and comes into full illumination and unification with the divinity. And so in our closing of this special measure and giving honors, you know, we give you this measure. We want to give honors to our chairman. He stated our burial is really the entombment of the original white fez of the Moorish Egyptian adepts, being changed to red, then finally the black fez worn to this day. If you notice, we came out of the black fez degrees into the red fez degree, and then we came up and showed you what the white fez degree is. You see, the pure meaning of the white fez is God. But when purity is slowed down by the rate of atmosphere, it becomes cool to red. But black is a word and not a color. The word means death. The Turks don the black fez because it means that they are chief morticians of the African godmans whose code name is infidel, heathen, M.E.C.C.A, or Hiram Abiff. Through Western Freemasonry, some Moorish in the West have been marked with the black fez to denote their continued enslavement. So at this time, Moorish kin, what we want to do, you know, this is a grand drawing, is we would like to honor our family here, and peace and love to all of those who are bearing witness to this special measure, you know, and peace and love and shalom shabbat alahayim to the brother JJ 7000. And also now we want to honor you, Moors, for everything it is that you have done and everything that you will do. I will present to you your digital certificates, you know, for your completion, in our special classes, and we will give them to you now, and we will give them to you and send them to you as we are done. We will present them before you now. We will send them through to you. But we want our Moorish kin to understand, that this is a lifelong journey, and we are here to love our people and teach our people. That is the charge that we have. You see, so without further ado or delay, let me share this screen, the proper screen. We present to our Moorish kin for their due diligence these special certificates of completion. And there's still much wisdom to be learned by the Moors. We would like to start first and foremost, by honoring our Grand National Chairman, Dr. Akin Pert M. Heru Tutankhamun Bey, with this meritorious certificate of student adept recognition. And this honor said neophyte, Dr. Akin Pert M. Heru Tutankhamun Bey, as the Egyptian adept high priest and temple scribe, one who has obtained the red fez unto the white fez degree, and we are dealing with this rite symbolic that has been introduced in due time, the ancient Egyptian Moorish rite of the mystic crypts of Mizraim. Now, the measure that is being demonstrated here is not something that has anything to do with any Eurocentric Masonic degrees or none of that. This is all dealing with the degrees that we just gave to you, brought by the prophet. You see? And this is actually dealing with the mystic crypts that are mentioned in our Moorish Holy Quran. Our chairman would tell you that we go into the halls of Luxor. And this is basically a silhouette of Luxor here. This is the prophet standing here between two pillars of entry. We showed you what this looked like, from above, the aerial point of view. And if you go here, this would be entering from the feet. And as you go through the body, you go all the way up to the head and process. So there's initiation process, that takes place in here. There are altars in this special demonstration. And only life's tests, and trials make one an adept, not one going into a building, not one being initiated and jumping through hoops and so forth and so on, but one going into the self and meeting the God within. So we honor you, Grand National Chairman, with this special measure as Egyptian adept high priest and temple scribe, for you have proven to be worthy of this through your book of fire, and bringing this to the manifest. And only an Egyptian adept master in this new era and time could bring forth such wisdom through the transliteration of the teachings. And you have proven to definitely demonstrate that red fez degree of cherubim, as you have honored us all with the degree of swift angel. You see, you are definitely a protector, because that's what cherubim demonstrate, protection. So say chapter 1. So we honor you, Chairman, with this special demonstration. You can see we fixated, the seals digitally here. We also have an expression, of the swift angels, unfoldment of expression of a symbol that we have brought forth in the past, but we actually have advanced it, so as to not confuse it with one that had become corrupted in the past. And there's a symbol, if you look closely, of the chairman here, often expressed a fez, in relation to the wings, and you see the heart is there symbolic there, in this as well. And so also we recognize our holy prophet is the Egyptian Grand Hierophant El Hedjet Shepses Re Abdu Ali, which is the Kemetic way of saying El Hajj Sharif Abdu Ali. We give honors to our holy prophet, so we honor our Moorish kin with this reflection, because he is the true one that has passed this measure down. And not to mention, his signature is also here on this special demonstration here. You see, the prophet's signature, not my signature. You see? So as we go along, we give honors to you, Chairman, for all the works that you've done, the works that you will continue doing. And these will become physical as well. We will be getting these out to the Moorish kin in due time. So this is just the digital version. And we will have the other measure. We want to give honors to our goddess and queen, also of the tribe of endurance, Sister Nefertiti, Tutankhamun Bey, Egyptian adept, high priestess, and temple scribe, because it was her, along with the goddess and queen, Sister Hatshepsut, Rakat Ma'at Anpu Tutankhamun Bey, who aided in the delivery of this book of fire. A lot of people don't know that these things had to be brought out here piecemeal, meaning even to the extent to where it was stated some of these things had to be copied even on toilet paper, so to speak, to get these measures to our Moorish kin, as our chairman had to bring them forth from the dismal crypts. But we'll let them go into those special measures. They went through a trial to get this book of fire to us. We'll just say that. And honest to them for being, faithful. That's why we call them cherubim and seraphim, actually. So we honor you too, goddess and queen, as being a chief protector, of the creed. And also, again, an Egyptian high priestess and temple scribe. We honor you for all your works. Thank you for everything you've done and everything you will do. Islam. Also, coming from the tribe of endurance, we honor our Grand National Secretary of the State, Sister Hatshepsut, Rakat Ma'at Anpu Tutankhamun Bey. Now, we know that we have what we call doctors of the divinity. And most definitely our Grand National Secretary of the State, I always like to call her Mother Ma'at, who rises with healing in her wings, so to speak, with the truth that she brings to the manifest. But if you don't know, in the book of fire, I want to show you something, what most don't know in the exhuming of a nation. And in the book of fire, in the opening, you will see that our Grand National Secretary of the State is noted here as transcriber and high priestess editor. You see? So we want to give honors to you for your works, goddess and queen, for everything it is you brought on the manifest, because everything is most definitely noteworthy, and all of these things are sealed, and affixed, the same way as the way the chairman's was brought forth, and following our grand expression coming through the line of goddesses and queens that we have over here, our beloved goddess and queen, Sister Dendra Ani Akurtabe, also has received her meritorious certificate of student adept recognition, which honors this said neophyte, also as Egyptian adept high priestess and temple scribe. Also being one who stands in defense. We've seen our sister throughout the highways and byways support, Moorish America. She's always calling on her family to support Moorish America. She has found her way home, and we honor her for all it is she bring on the manifest, and she's very humble. The sisters say, Dr. Shahid, I'm trying to get a draw. The next thing she bringing a grand measure on the manifest. We give honors to the goddess and queen. So praise be to Allah. Also, we have honor to give to our beloved brother, with the same meritorious certificate of student adept recognition, said neophyte Dr. Marvin Nathaniel Elvis Bey, Egyptian adept high priest and temple scribe. Yes, sir. Also one who has obtained the Red Fez degree of cherubim, chief protector. Islam, all of our family have been guided by the prophet. And last but not least, we give honors to all of you, and we give honors to our beloved brother, Dr. Ta Ra Anpu Anibati Bey. This meritorious certificate of student adept recognition also honors our brother and said neophyte with the same Egyptian adept, high priest, and temple degree of the scribe, so to speak. In this red fez degree of cherubim, we also seen you more standing in the fence, protecting. You have come through a lot. You have seen a lot, and as everyone else on here, and so we give honors to you, family, as well. And now I will go into, what is stated here in the document to give our family some drawing. And then we'll open up the floor to our family. As we begin, it takes an adept to teach an adept to be an adept. Confer, confirm, and conform. This certificate of recognition confers in all sincerity the above degree in good faith upon the said Egyptian adept student or neophyte who has earned through due diligence the name of faithful beyond any doubt or contradiction, whereas it is self that must confirm through self-initiation the greatest Egyptian adepts abate wisdom instructions of the true hierophant within, which guides the aspirant to conform to the high dictates of life and thus self-mastery. Shedu Netta. We as peers, through review being a collective body of this exalted council of executive rulers of Mecca, therefore honor this esteemed Egyptian adept student, or these esteemed Egyptian adept students, the red crown, red fez degree of ancient Kemet as executive ruler and lord of the plane of soul and the plane of all things made manifest, being duty bound to the highest aspirations in governing the self according to the wisdom stored beneath our royal red fez, which is symbolic to the same red crown of Lower Kemet, or Lower Egypt aforementioned above. Yet we must all not fail to remember, it is not what is on our heads, but what is within our heads that makes our headdress sacred and honorable. Hear now, ye seraphim, ye cherubim, ye angels, and ye men. It is good to confer greatness in degrees upon those who confirm through their ways, acts, and deeds that they are willing to conform to the deific will of the great nectar of harmony, truth, balance, right, order, and justice. For these are the quadratic keys of life cycles to understanding the one true adept chamber, where we are instructed in the chemistry, the ministry, and the mystery of human life, i.e., the temple of perfected man. For our true purpose is self-initiation through the Egyptian adepts abate wisdom teachings of ancient Kemet, transliterated in the Shanusafet Qara'ani. It says, as Sibagatala, immersion into divine wisdom, as masters of Allah's nature, we may all be admitted into the nearest and most dearest sacred gardens of Seket Aru, the fields of peace, the Seket Allah of Ra, and Alsar, and Heru Ami Abu. Only the pure in heart will be granted to enter the halls of Amenti, third heaven, Unkwajet Sanel. Peace and love, Islam, Islam, Islam. We honor all you Moors. Thrice blessed are all you Moors. And it's just an honor to be here and stand upon the shoulders of yourself. We honor Allah by honoring our brother man, honoring our sisters. We honor Allah by honoring our nation, the Moorish American. We will be getting these documents over to you, Moorish kin. And like I said, we won't give our family a little measure of rest. This is a special day, and we will come back, next week with our assignment, and a measure to bring forth homework. And we just want to hear from our Moorish kin at this particular time now. So I want to open up the floor for our Grand National Secretary of the State, Islam High Priestess.
Islam, Islam, Islam. First of all, I'm going to rise, giving all praises to our Father God Allah, giving honor to our Prophet, Noble Drew Ali, the last prophet in these days and times, giving honor to Act One, giving honor to our Consul General of Texas, Dr. Marvin Edwards Bay, for opening our meeting according to law, to Dr. Dendra Nia Kurta Bay for reading our chapter, and to you, Dr. Shahid, Dr. Shedo Amenti El Mohed Shepsuel, for hosting this grand E.A.R.S class, Egyptian Adeptus Research Sultanate class. It's a great honor and a blessing. And I tell you, right in the middle of class, the internet wants to go out and act crazy. But, not a word is lost. I'm like, what in the world? So, Allah is everywhere and he is most knowing. I just wanted to give you honor, Dr. Shahid, for this certificate. Definitely, it's a royal day, a grand day, and it just gratitude to you for the breakdown again in reference to the various degrees in going within the study of the self, recognizing the fact that it's a blessing to be able to receive the lessons of our Prophet Noble Drew Ali in our theocratic government, and also continue to be taught the lessons of our ancestors, our forefathers. And this receiving this special certificate just makes the drive even more so on a warp speed to not only make it applicable to the self, but also to take it to our brothers and sisters, because indeed these degrees are ours and it's passed down from our ancestors to us. And definitely recognizing the need for continuing to study, dealing with the study of the self. So gratitude is indeed an honor and a blessing. We love you. We appreciate you. And congratulations to all of my Moorish kin online, because we were definitely in the trenches. But, it's just a grand, grand occasion. Gratitude, peace, and love.
Gratitude and peace and love to you as well, Grand National Secretary of the State. We give honors to you for all that you do and all that the tribe of endurance, has done. And yes, this is a powerful measure. And these are the ones that are basically authorized, so to speak, by the great God Allah and the prophet, as the scribes, who will begin preparing these measures for our young and not yet born. So we give honors to you. And there will be many more who come up through this same process who show themselves to be diligent. Remember, many are called and few are chosen. And everybody that was chosen for this special measure have showed up today. Despite the email being sent out to many, the chosen, had shown up. So there are no strange happenings, and so we had to bring out, the crown of lower and upper Kemet to honor y'all. Praise be to Allah. Gratitude. Well, all right. At this time, we will open up the floor so that we may hear from our sister Dendra. I see she already on it. I need a Kurta Bay. Islam, goddess.
Islam, 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 Islam. Gratitude, God, man. I'm going to give my honors again. I'm going to rise and give praises to the great God Allah, because he deserved all my praises, all our praises. I give praises to the great God Allah. I give honors to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. I give honors again to Act One. And I give honors to all my government officials. And I give honors to you, Dr. Shahid, for all that you have done, for your patience with us, for your diligence and all the research that you have done. And family, I didn't know you was gonna do this, but it's an honor for me. It's like you said, many are called, but few are chosen. And this has always been a dream of mine, to sit up under my people. I had a lot of information from the Europeans, and some of it was right, but I always wanted to sit up under my people to hear how and what my people and what did my ancestors say I wanted to hear it coming from us. And the great God Allah has blessed me, excuse me, to be a part of this year's class, research class, and I've had fun. I have fun. Yes, it was a challenge sometimes, but I always tell myself I'm having fun, and I love what I'm doing, and it's just an honor for me, family. I enjoy this, but there, I'm not here to just to get the information. Now that I know what I got to do. I know I got to go out and teach my people. And because God didn't bring me here, He brought me here for a reason. He given me this information. He got y'all. Y'all got my back. You've taught me, and I can come to you and ask you questions and stuff. And now He's given me the strength and the wisdom and the knowledge to go out and teach my people. Do I know everything? No. I'm still unfolding. But I know one thing, that the great God Allah is leading on and victory is assured. And if I can't trust what He said, then I'm born up from the start. Who am I going to trust? So now I can go out and don't be afraid of anything, because I know the great God Allah got me. And so, and again, I give honors to you, my chairman, who I love so dearly, and Dr. Hasepsu Tukankaman Bay, and Dr. Nefertiti, who are my big sisters, mother figure, all of those things to me. I love all of you all, and gratitude again for this. It's a surprise, but a blessed surprise. Didn't know you was gonna do this, but it's an honor, and I accept it with humbleness. And y'all just keep me lifted up in prayer, and that I stay humble at the great God of love, holy feet. I don't want to get no big head or nothing like that. Like you teaching us about going within, studying the self. And it's easy to let that old lower self, oh, you got this now. No, I got to keep my ear at the mouthpiece of the great God Allah and stay humble at His holy feet while I do His work. Islam. Gratitude, God, man, for letting me share. We love y'all. And again, gratitude for all you have done for us. Peace and love.
In Islam, gratitude, we give honors to your high priestess. Praise be to Allah. You are a scribe, noteworthy of the works that will be brought forth, that we will demonstrate bringing forth to our people very soon. So we give honors to you for your steadfastness and all that you continue to do in your due diligence. So we just say gratitude. Islam, you are evidence, of unfoldment, sister. We love you. Praise be to Allah. All right. Now we would like to hear from our two brothers, brothers Bati Bey and brother Edwards Bey. Which one of y'all want to come forth? Okay, brother. All right, Bati Bey, Islam, grand man.
Islam, I also like to extend praises to Allah, honors to the Prophet, and I tell you, like I expressed on the call when I was younger, and I was I think it's about the time my brother burnt his arm, and we were in the hospital. And I was trying to fit the star inside the circle, and there was something speaking to me like I'm talking to you right now, and it said, and we were having a conversation mentally, but I wasn't really. I just remember the conversation, and it said, "You got a long way to go." I said, "How do I know I got it when I'm there?" It says, "When the star fits in the circle." And at that point, I knew it was evident that when I got to the government, you see the flag where the star fits in the circle. And it didn't really make sense to me in the beginning, but it speaks volumes now. And all the things that had led me here, the ups and the downs, the things of that nature, all the information that I enjoy, they're able to recall and even give to others, has all been by the hands of those that look like me. And I give honor to that as God has said, because I know at least I'm getting the truth, and I know there's not to give freely is of purity. To give information of this magnitude, even when we're looking at the book of fire, you know what I'm saying, and looking at our Moorish Holy Quran, to give that type of diligence, time, and effort, and not just discovering who you are, but who we are as a collective, and then sitting up here and you see people that are getting hundreds of thousands of dollars in a school that are misleading and carrying on with getting people to be trained, as opposed to here where you getting free education to build nations. They probably said what we don't know could build a nation, could build a whole nother world, and we are receiving that here today. And I just give all those honors, all my teachers, and there's few teachers that I ever learned something from in school, and I know here I learned a lot from all my Moorish kin. You know what I'm saying? And I give honors. And where's yours at? where's yours? Where's your degree at? We got to see that too. Islam, peace and love, gratitude for all the love and all the effort. Islam.
Islamism. Well, we just allow the great God, the prophet and the ancestors to bestow upon us blessings as they will, grand man. I don't really seek, honor or recognition. I just want to recognize my Moorish kin for the work that they done and are doing and will continue to do. Islamism. So we definitely got some more measures, like I say, the actual physical expression, and a couple of more adornments, so to speak, to get to our Moorish kin in due time. So we honor you, Islam, and by honoring you, we know we honor the great God, Allah, and the Prophet. Gratitude, grand man. We love you. All right. Our beloved brother, Marvin Edwards Bay.
Islam.
Faithful one.
Gratitude for calling me. Yes, I am Dr. Marvin Edwards Bay, Consul General out of the Texas Consulate, rising, giving all praises to the great God Allah, giving the highest honors to his prophet, our prophet Noble Drew Ali, Al Sharif Abdul Ali. Give honors to our theocratic government, our Moorish American government. Give high honors to our Ag 1. I give high honors to all of our officials. I give high honors to this class, our E.A.R.S class. I give honors to all those that aided in bringing forth our class this morning. Give honors to you, Dr. Shadu Amiti Al-Mohidi Sepsuel, the committee and Adept Hierophant, for hosting and instructing this class. I give honors to everything that's Moorish, our flag, our seal, our emblem, our divine constitution, our holy Quran, our book of Ali, our 101, 102s, exhument of a nation. All of our divine revelations I give honor. Give honor to the forerunner, Dr. Marcus M.E.C.C.A, as well as I give honors to our ancestors, whose shoulders we stand upon. Very powerful class. And I give honors to all those that gave their messages before me and all that will give their messages after me. And I just want to say gratitude, Dr. Shahid, for all that you do. You know what I mean? And for giving us this honor. And it is indeed an honor. And it just sheds light on the journey. You know what I mean? Because along the journey, we, hit rough spots, certain spots, times that when we wonder, so to speak, because we're trying to understand, you know what I mean? And as I go into the meditation, as I have gone into meditation and continue to, this is my answer from Allah, telling me that I'm going in the right way. I'm doing the right things. I am seeing straight. And so I just say gratitude to all of my Moors here, because just like our National Secretary of State of Virginia always say, our Goddesses and Queens instructor, host, Dr. Bonnie Thompson Bay, we learn from each other. And that's no joke. So it's such a beautiful thing, and being instructed by our prophet to study the self. You know what I mean? Sutanoti. Man, know thyself. I mean, and this is what it's all about. This is what we're learning. This is, this is the message. You know what I mean? But it's a twofold situation, so to speak. We learn these lessons so that we can uplift fallen humanity. I mean, that's such a powerful connection there, and I'm just grateful for being here. Um, and yes, it has been, you know what I mean, a real journey. But we can see that light, you know what I mean, and it's continually becoming brighter and brighter every day. And I just want to say, gratitude, family, Islam, and peace.
Gratitude and Islam and peace to you as well, brother. Like I said, it's just an honor to be able to honor the honorable. And praise be to Allah. We got a lot of work ahead of us, and it's just an honor to stand next to our Moorish kin, and begin to bring these things forth. As we said before, that we will be going into the establishment of our language. Not only that, but first starting off with an actual dictionary, that will be universal in its approach, of being able to deal with, true decipherment, so to speak, as opposed to constantly going on what the European is taught and so forth and so on. So we have grand measures to bring forth in that area. And we already know that our Moorish kin will most definitely be on the front lines, when it comes to completing this special task as well. And this is going to open up the way for the young and not yet born to come forth, having their eyes wide open like the prophet said they would. So that's what I'm most definitely interested in, seeing the unfoldment of our youth, and everything it is they have to bring to the manifest, relevant, to mastering themselves as a nation. So it's just a grand draw at Moorish kin, and gratitude to all of you, for your representation, your dedication, and everybody who truly stood up here on the manifest, to do this grand work, where many, fell faint along the way. Like we always say, the race is not merely to one who bear the title Swift Angel, because all of us have been given the title, but it is to those who endure until the end. And you Moors endured until the end, and that's one of the greatest symbols that we have that express us as a nation of people by representation of our tribe of endurance. So we got a lot more to bring to the manifest, and it's just a grand drawing, to hear from our Moorish kin and, know all is well. And also we want to request, Brother Bati Bey, that you send me your new email address, so I can get this special drawing over to you. I just sent out the other certificate to our Moorish kin, Tribe of Endurance, Sister Dendra, and our brother Marvin Evans, baby. We want to make sure we can get ours to you as well. And like I said, this day we won't be going into an actual aspect. We're gonna deal with a time of rest, so to speak, and then we'll come back next week and bring our people into the next degree of unfoldment. That will be dealing with, again, manifesting the language, and actually getting started with, compiling that which is ours. So I just want to say gratitude and Islamism. And is there anything one would like to say before we close this special demonstration out?
I just like to say I can't wait to get this dictionary and this other stuff, all the books transliterated. That's going to be monumentous to see our people, especially when it comes to our people. That gives them. They even showed in schools when you told them about their history how much more and quicker they were ready to excel. So this is going to do wonders for the youth and wonders for the ones that come behind us. Islam, peace, and love.
That's right, Islam. We definitely working out of the Department of Education and Truth right now. That's right, Islam. Well, all right, Sister Dendra Ania Kurtabay. Honors to all of the high priests and high priestesses on the manifest. Praise be to Allah, the scribes, Moorish scribes. The pen is in your hand, Moors. And you know what we're going to do with it. Like the prophet said, we're going to write our own history. Islam.
Islam, Islam, Islam. January 15, 1929. A warning from the prophet to be read at every meeting. I hereby inform all citizens that they must end all radical, agitating speeches while at work, in their homes, or on the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be of severe consequence. We are for love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And when these principles are violated, justice must then take its course. Any citizen or group of citizens who hold malicious feelings toward the government or the prophet or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the law as laid down to them by their prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn in their card and button, cease wearing their turban and fez, and return to the state where I, the prophet, found you. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the prophet Noble Jew Ali. And if the prophet is not right, the government is not right. The prophet, therefore, is sending out the divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting their prophet and the government. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sinful ways by the order of Prophet Noble Jew Ali. A holy covenant of the Asiatic nations. Ye are the children of one father, provided for by his care, and the breast of one mother have given you suck. Let the bonds of affection, therefore, unite thee with thy brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in thy father's house. And when ye separate in the world, remember the relations that bindeth you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. If thy brother is in adversity, assist him. If thy sister is in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the fortunes of thy father contribute to the support of his whole race, and his care be continued to you all in your love to each other. Islam, Islam, Islam. This meeting is officially adjourned according to Act 2. Go in peace, Moors. Islam.
Islam, Islam, Islam.
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 Peace
Gratitude.
and love.
Islam, gratitude.
Great class.
Love you,
Islam.
Moors.
Gratitude, Dr. Shahid. Love you, Morris Ken.
Love you all.
Islam. We love you too, Moors. And we want to give honor to all of you, for your accomplishment. Congratulations. And honors to all of those who tuned in, being faithful as well. Praise be to Allah.
Islam.
Looking
Islam.
forward. Looking forward.
Gratitude. Yes,
to
looking
Islam.
forward.
Ready to work. Ready to work.
Right.
Right.
Let's get it.
Islam, Islam.
That's
Yeah,
Right.
the prophet
Let's do
said
this.
enough work for all to do.
Right.
right.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Most definitely. And so we're gonna close out as we normally would, and definitely give our grand honor to our Moorish kin. And you always know that we like to take our Moorish kin out with a Moorish vibration, as we do with our holy prophet. So we want to give our family a drawing on that. Let me mute my little mic out because I be giving feedback to myself. So Islam, Moors, peace and love. We'll see you in our Sunday school class. Praise
Peace and love.
Salute the Prince of Peace, he was the Prince of Strife. Our holy prophet gave his life a willing sacrifice. The seventh of the time, the book of seven seals. The circle seven made flesh, yeah, he lifted the veil. Conceived in trying times, yeah, the spirit was channeled. Allah's love thought, he was wrapped in the mantle. Egyptian priests in the east seen his star and rejoiced. They opened up the chambers, golden cords for horse. They spoke in many tongues and wrote in metal letter. Chief protectors of the creed, we know it's Shadow Netta. Our leader long awaited, revealer of the light. Long promised son, for the product of our plight. Clothed in the flesh that men may comprehend. Love and holy zeal sent to redeem men. The brightly guided one, seed of a Moabite. He took that sacred vow and became a neophyte. He took flight and ascended as an adept, as an angel. Swiftness, fruition, third heaven uplifted. Gifted with a vision to be active and not passive. I'm the phoenix, he rebirthed it, resurrected from his ashes. Hey, Ali Ellen Bay, Ali Ellen Bay. Praise Allah, he sent the prophet and he paved the way. Ali Ellen Bay, Ali Ellen Bay. Praise Allah, he sent the prophet and he paved the way. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. The ancient one is present, the hierophant is near. If Allah's delight, then whom should you fear? Know thyself, Allah and Ali, cause M.E.C.C.A is here.
Faith in fruition first formed in the purified thought. Pressure presenting profound prophecies, clearing the knot. Lift the Moors out the box, shallow grave with they plot. We was enslaved in them days, like it or not. Fighting demons on top, judges loyal to cops. Put in place to displace the true heirs of the crops. Laying air in the water, consciously raising our daughters. To put respect on our name, it comes from our Father, passed down to our prophet, ancestors, we got it. The elders and them babes, industrious ways will never stop it. Allah leading the way, no matter what you say, the truth will never change. Welcome to the new age.
Ali Ellen Bay, Ali Ellen Bay. Praise Allah, he sent the prophet and he paved the way. Ali Ellen Bay, Ali Ellen Bay. Praise Allah, he sent the prophet and he paved the way. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. The ancient one is present, the hierophant is near. If Allah's delight, then whom should you fear? Know thyself, Allah and Ali, cause M.E.C.C.A is here. Islam, we love you, Moors. We love you.
Islam.
Islam. Beautiful.
Islam.
Peace and love.
Hello.
We gotta teach them on all levels.
That's right.
From the booth to the pulpit, as they like to call it.
Islam.
Praise be to Allah. All right, Moors. See you on our call.
Islam.
Congratulations.
Peace and love.
Peace and love.
Peace and love.